Hey guys, Libble here. This is my Salamangreat list that I've been playing for the last couple of weeks. I've recently gotten back into the game and I decided to pick this deck up because it has a good matchup against everything and doesn't really come under threat with the next ban list, as we have some bigger threats running about like Adamant Spear and Eldritch. So I think this will be a good time to be learning the deck, just so that when kind of Adamant Spear and Eldritch calm down a little bit, or even if they get hit on the ban list, people will probably go looking for other options. So like I know Plunder Patrol are a good option, Salamangreat are a great option, Orcus are an amazing option, just stuff like that. So it might be good to learn those like little decks while people are obsessed with the other decks at the moment, but you never know. But the only weakness that Salads really have at the moment is that we get absolutely destroyed by Nibiru, and with Synchro Eldritch becoming a lot more popular, people are going to be main decking Nibiru a lot more often, so the deck's got a problem again. But that means I'm probably going to be working on this list for quite a while, because I'm trying to figure out a way that we can actually play the Salad game, but we can play it without having 5 summons. But yeah, anyway, I just want to do a quick little thing before I start the list. Obviously, as this is the first video on the channel, if you like what you see, consider subscribing, dropping a like on the video. It would mean a lot to me. Also, if you follow me on Twitter over at libble_, I'll be posting little updates of like changes I make to the deck if they're not big enough changes to actually make a whole video about. And also I'll be posting pictures and stuff of whatever I get in the posts, so you can see what I'm building or just what I'm picking up in general. Anyway, right, let's get into the list. So to start off the one-ofs, we only play one Gazelle, obviously, sadly, one Foxy, and one Falco. So I'll explain this quickly. A lot of people at the moment are playing 3 Foxy. I personally don't agree with it, just because now that we have Lady Debug at 3, that's what we want our normal summon to be on. We don't want to be normal summoning Foxy. Obviously its effect is good, like excavating 3 and seeing whatever you can get, just to get some more salads. But really, that's just kind of like a win more effect. You don't ever really need it. It's not essential. I'd say the best part about Foxy is their effect to discard 1 from hand and then summon it to the field and then pop a card. Pop a spell or trap card, sorry. So yeah, I mean, at the moment I'm liking it at 1, just because it doesn't clog as much. We get to the cards we want to see, we get to other disruption cards, hand traps, and that kind of stuff. And then also, we will go on to the rest of the monsters. We play 2 Jaguar, this is kind of standard, and we also play 2 Spinny. So 2 Spinny at the moment I've been liking a lot, because just because like at 3 is fine, but I don't know, I just feel like 2, it's fine at 2. Like there's nothing, you can play some other cards in the deck. You see it as much as you need to see it. Obviously you've got the Gazelle to get rid of it. You've got Foolish Burial, all that stuff. But so yeah, I reckon 2's fine at the moment. Then to the other cards, we play 3 Lady Debug, and obviously I shouldn't have to explain why you need to play Lady Debug at 3, but apparently a lot of people on here think that Flame Buffalo is better than Lady Debug and playing 3 of that instead of this, which I completely don't understand. Like, Lady Debug is a 1-card setup. Lady Debug is just absolutely essential, and yeah, I'll go on to the rest of my list and explain why I'm not playing Flame Buffalo. But then on the next cards, we have the Parallel Engine. Obviously, this got released in Eternity Code, and it just kind of gives Salads a whole new, or this card gives it a whole new avenue of just rank 4s. So we only play 2 rank 4s in the deck, but I'll show you them later. But the thing with Parallel is I'm not 100% happy with it yet, because as I said, Nibiru is a card. So we might consider actually just dropping this engine entirely, but I'm not sure about that yet. It depends where I want to go with the list. And I want to talk about Full Mud Skipper a little bit. If it wasn't for this card, I don't think Salads would actually be able to play around Nibiru, because this just using its effect to copy Sunlight Wolf to then use it with like the Gazelle on our field is just way too strong. Like that's the 4th summon, we get the entire setup, and we don't have to waste the Sunlight Wolf. So, and we don't even need the field spell either, so you don't even need to activate that. Anyway, Then onto the hand traps, we play 3 Ash Blossom. Obviously got to play Ash Blossom because we can hand loop it with Sunlight Wolf. There should be no excuse for that card. And then we also play 3 DD Crow. So I'm a bit conflicted because I'm not sure whether I prefer DD Crow or Call by the Grave. DD Crow is obviously good because it's better for if we're going second and it can hit anything. So like it's good against Eldritch in that respect. But Call by the Grave is a very good card as well, obviously, as it can hit hand traps and stop all that. So I'm still testing around which one I prefer at the moment, but at the moment I've got 3 DD Crow in the deck. Just because, I don't know, that's just what I'm liking at the moment. So that's the monsters. This is the 40 card deck. So we'll be going on to the spells now. Play the 1 Sanctuary and the 1 Circle. Obviously, it's just, I should have to explain that. It's a salad list. We play 2 Will. I've been considering dropping this card down to 1 because, just because, yeah, it's a Monster Reborn and a Soul Charge. It's really good. And it helps with the play extending. But I don't know. It depends if there's another card I want to play 3 of, basically. Or if there's a 2 of card in here that I want to bump up to a 3 of. This would be the card that I would get rid of if I was to get rid of anything. Then next we have the 3 Signet Mining. Obviously, it's, again, I shouldn't have to talk about Signet Mining. It's Signet Mining. We play 2 Pot of Desires in this list, only because with the 3 of, I think in Salads it's a bit different. So, like, in most other decks you can play 3 Desires pretty comfortably. But in Salads, like, we have so many essential cards. Like, for example, you don't even use Pot of Desires until you make sure you've got a Gazelle, you've got a Sanctuary, and you've got Formid Skipper. Well, Formid Skipper is, like, on and off depending where you have your hand at. But as long as you have Gazelle and Sanctuary, then you can use this card. So it's good if you... the only reason I ever really use it is obviously if you're in a jam and you don't have any other cards. Or if you have your end board and then you just activate this, see if you can get some hand traps. That's pretty much it. Then we main deck the 2 Dark Rule No More because obviously you've got Adamant Payer and Eldritch running about. If they're summoning huge balls, it's the only way to get out of it. Like, it's that simple. Then we play the 1 of trap spells. We've got the 1-for-1 Monster Reborn and the Foolish Burial. So the 1-for-1 is for the Formid Skipper. So you can obviously... if you have the nuts, so like if you had 1-for-1 and a Gazelle, pretty much, you can ditch like your Spinny or whatever else you have in hand, summon the 1-for-1, get the effective Gazelle, summon the Gazelle, and then just use Gazelle to go into Bailings and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, at the moment, I'm still not, as I said, I'm not sure about the engine. It depends where I want to take the deck, but at the moment, I'm liking it. Then for the traps, we play the 3 Imperm, obviously because Imperm's insane, Monster Effect Negation's insane, and this can't be Called by the Grave, which is why it's better than Effect Veiler. I mean, yeah, that's all I really have to say on that card. And then for the traps, we play the 1 Rage and 2 copies of Raw. There was a time where I cut this down, so it was just 1-1, but I didn't like that because obviously if your opponent has the Ash Blossom for the Sunlight Wolf or the anything like that, you can obviously banish it, or you can obviously set it from the graveyard when it's linked off with another, or you can just, but then it banishes, then you don't have one in your deck. So I just liked having the 2 just so you could have that option. But yeah, that's the main deck. Then we're going to move on to the extra deck. So it's pretty standard. So you've got the 3 Baylinks, great card. You've got the 3 Sunlight Wolf, obviously, again, great card. Then for the Link 2s, we play 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Heater. I shouldn't need to explain why these cards are good. Spell and trap removal, basically a free unicorn if you have 2 monsters and they have an Ash in their grave, or if you're in the mirror match as well. So yeah, that's a good card. And then the Link 3s, we've got 2 Heatleo. Obviously, it's Heatleo. We play 1 Nightmare Unicorn, obviously. And then we're also playing 1 Topolothic Trisbania. Sorry, I can never say that name. The reason why we're playing this card is purely against Eldritch. Like, this deck doesn't do very well against Eldritch. So if you don't know what this card does, basically if a monster or monster special summoned to a zone this card points to, banish as many of those monsters as possible, and then you also banish as many spell and traps on the field as possible. And if you do, inflict 500 to your opponent for each of them. So you can pretty much wipe an entire Eldritch board just by, so if you get to summon this and get to summon 1 more card, then you can banish their entire of their back row. and that can be really painful to them. But yep, and then for the last Link monster, we play Borrello Dragon. A lot of people playing Borrel Sword Dragon, but I prefer Borrello Dragon for the main reason that this deck completely dies to anything that can't be targeted and has basically over 2/4 attack, because the main way that we deal with problems in this deck is to heat Leo it down to Balinx's attack, and obviously if a card can't be targeted, we can't do that. So for example, against Avamax, this card is perfect. So you attack into it, you take their Avamax because this doesn't target, and then you have a free Avamax to attack into things with, or I mean, it's literally just a way to get us out of a sticky situation. And the last two cards we play are obviously Babushka and Abyss Dweller. But just to finish off the deck, basically, so the list is very different to everybody else's Salamangreat profile that I've seen on YouTube, because this deck has been inspired quite largely by the OCG, because they know how to play a control game. As in the TCG, we usually geared towards playing like stun combo decks, whilst in the OCG they don't usually do as well. So at the moment, Orcus, Adamancipator, and Salads are pretty much some of the top decks over in the OCG at the moment. But you can build Salads to do combos, but I don't know, I kind of prefer the more control variant at the moment. I'm going to be making some other lists on Salads, so obviously a going first variant and a going second variant. I'm going to be posting those videos probably when I get the cards, but I'm not too sure. I'm still tinkering with them. They're very early in development again, but with the extra deck as well, I didn't really play I know a lot of people are playing the what are they called, the Code Talker and Update Jammer. Again, it's more control. I'm not here to OTK people. I'm not here to do big damage. I'm just here to keep disrupting people to the point where they can't play, and then I just take the game from there, just like with a board of Salads, or if I just steal their monster or anything like that. So yeah, I'll update this deck whenever I'm going to be making any big changes. But apart from that, again, I'm just going to say, if you like what you saw, consider dropping a subscription and dropping a like. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.